So I took some time last night and just did a little bit of tear down. So I've decided this is the driest spot in the entire deal where it looks. I mean, it looks to me like it's a dry box. It sits underneath there. There's a panel that goes over it, and then there's a that thing right there that sits over the top. So the fact that any moisture getting in there is probably not going to be. So that is where I'm going to mount the fuse. The amp rack is going to be right there. So first things first, and I will show you what I got. I got to build a plug to correspond with that. So let's do that. So plug orientation, that's what this is. And this is the plug. So this is a Deutsch plug. I had to order this specialty from Amazon. And so your plugs go in the back, and then you have this little clip. When I'm done, this will go in and it will hold these pins in place. So this is the male end, which is what is in the Kubota right now. So this is the female end. So I have to build that with this harness, which is so cool because this plugs into the back of the head unit. And then I'm just going to take these wires and directly feed them into this plug. So no cutting, no stripping. This should be fun. Plug's done. Now I used 3 different tools. So this is designed specifically for these types of plugs. However, I used a different style of pin. These are not a closed barrel pin. This is designed for a closed barrel pin. So what I did is I just crimped it right up top. And then I used this, the grooved part, in so I could snag the wire so the wire doesn't move. And then I used an actual ferrule crimper to crimp all those down. So now all I have left to do is to push these wires through this. And there's a lock, so the pin will lock in place. And then when I got them all how I need them, I stick this in, I lock that in, and the plug's done.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah.
This is the finished harness. I am going to go and plug this in and make darn sure that it works. And if it does, then I'll go and I'll make this look nice, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is fabricating for the radio. So proof positive that first timers screw up. I did the damn plug completely backwards. So now I have to figure out how to disassemble it and then reassemble it. I'll let you know how that turns. Turns out depinning is really easy. So that had to pull that wedge out, and then inside there, see those little tabs. You just pull those tabs up, and then it pops right out. The good news is, I realized one of my pins wasn't set, so as I was pulling them out, it came out. So this is actually a good thing. I'll just go back and I see. I didn't crimp it right there. Slacker. So what I'm not gonna do is do a time lapse of me repinning this. I'll just skip forward to it being installed. Real time. We are gonna plug this thing in together and hope to God that it fires up. Here we go. Okay, that's in. Fired up. Heck yeah. We got menu. We got source. We got FM, AM, USB, auxiliary, Bluetooth, which is going to be fantastic. Oh, it's skipping right over Bluetooth. I wonder why that is. We'll have to figure that one out. Why is it skipping over Bluetooth? Maybe I'm going to have to try and pair my phone. Okay, we got power. Let's see, let's see, well, Yeah, and it shuts off with the key. Sweet. All right, next step, I got to fabricate the mount for this. What I've got now is this factory plate that came. I'm going to use this as my mounting for that. And then these factory holes that correspond to the factory holes in the top, I'm going to use threaded nutserts. So this will attach directly to the roof.
Go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I did a quick test fit. I didn't really feel like recording it, but it fits perfect. I just got the M3 screws and washers sitting up there. So what I got to do next is I have to put a grommet right here for the speaker wires, remote wires, and RCA wires to come out. I'm going to route them up and down, and then that's where the amp rack's going to sit. So I'm going to do that next, and then I'm going to start working on the amp rack. Just wanted to show this before I seal it up. The remote wire has been soldered in place. Most install stuff that you'll see will say, hey, always disconnect the negative battery terminal before you do any kind of wiring for the amp. However, just to be on the safe side, I disconnect both. I'm going to be running the power wire for that amp directly from the battery. There's a spot inside. It's right here. And maybe I could, right there, sorry, maybe I could pull power for the amp from that. But I'm not 100% sure what that is. And it's just a safer bet to pull directly from the battery. So that's where I'll be going.
Oh man, I still go, 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 go.
Deck is in. I'd pop a couple holes right here because I thought that I'd be able to get both of these RCAs through one. However, they're pretty big. So that didn't work. So now that I've got those through, I'll tidy everything up in here once I get the speakers in. But I'll run the speaker wire after I get everything soldered. And yeah, that looks pretty damn good. Onto the amp rack.
Still go, 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 go.
So this is the plan. I'm gonna have a piece go like that because I have a lip. See that lip right there? I have to get past that lip. So I'm gonna put this piece here, and then the actual amp rack is gonna attach to this. This piece is going to attach with those two screws right there, and then the whole thing will mount, and then I'll run my wires. So first order of business is I had to make a template for the back plate and then mark out where my holes were. And now I'll set this template on here, drill my holes, and I should be able to test fit that in the Kubota. That's what it'll look like with the plate in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a 5 1/4 piece that'll be that same dimension. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press that plate into these, with these are here, so I can actually groove out so the pieces will lay flat on top of each other. I'm also going to have to take a little bit out in here so these will go down. Sorry. So these will go down a little bit more because they're just barely making the threads. Visuals for what I was talking about. So now those are countersunk. I have corresponding holes on the back. And once I have the amp rack installed in the car, or in the Kubota, and that is what it will look like with the two pieces sandwiched together. And then I will screw this piece onto the back piece. Probably use the screws for the amp rack to make that connection.
Go, 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 still go, 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 slow, go, still go, 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 still go. I never ran so long, I still go. Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo,
yeah.
no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.
So I got to show you this. I had to cut a hole in the back of this amp rack because JL Audio makes some incredible equipment, but whose idea was it to put all the crossovers and everything where you're going to mount the amp? Why would you not put it on the side? Why would you not put it on the top? I know Kenwood puts it on the top. Just a thought. So I skipped ahead a little bit. I didn't feel like doing the time-lapse thing, but so you see the speaker wires are run. I've got everything zip tied to the frame. It runs down, back through the trim, and then back. So now I have the amp sitting where it's going to be. It's just in there loose right now because I'm waiting on a couple other parts. So I soldered these, and I absolutely hate this. I think this just looks like crap. So what I did, instead of doing that, I picked up, I'm waiting, it should be here tomorrow, hopefully. I'm putting an inline fuse right here, and I'm putting a ground distribution block right here. I'm gonna lop these off. It'll go 8 gauge in, 4 gauge out, and then I'm gonna put 2 small holes right here. So it's gonna go back down through this, and then it'll go down into this, where I've got a factory ground right there. And then the battery sits right there. I'm going to put a mount right here where I'm going to have a second inline fuse. This one's actually going to be, it'll have a breaker switch on it. And it's about 4, maybe 5 inches from the battery. But the cool thing is, so what he wanted was, he wanted his rear channels on a plug so he can put speakers wherever we want. So these Deutsch plugs are so cool. So I've got just an umbilical. I think this is about 6 feet of wire. Yeah, it's about 6 feet of wire, give or take. And I'll just roll that up, and I will put it underneath the seat, and then when he's ready, he can take it wherever he wants. So basically I have that left, and then I'm just waiting on these speakers. They're probably going to be next week, so I'll finish it up then. 5 1/4 came in today. I'm going to be installing those. I'm going to be finishing up the amp rack, and then I'm just going to put a real quick tune on everything, just setting crossovers and whatnot, and get everything mounted. I should be done today. Amp rack is installed. Distribution blocks are installed. I've got power and ground going down. Last thing I need to do is I have to zip tie these just up and out of the way. I'll do that here in just a few minutes. Battery is connected. That is the watertight fuse. All right, here we go. I'm gonna fire it up. Okay, turn the unit on. We got a radio. Wait for the Bluetooth to connect. Oh yeah, speakers are in. And those grills, man, fit just absolutely perfect. Okay, Bluetooth connected. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I tested it. I didn't want to put music on because I didn't want to get copyright infringement, but dude, I'm on volume like 4, and these speakers absolutely freaking scream. I am like super excited.